This is one of my favorite electric mini cars. Now, there's a number of electric mini cars that have just been launched in Europe. This is not one of them, but I think it could be possibly in the future. Why? It's actually the perfect economy electric car. The size, the specifications, it just makes so much sense that I think Europeans, they're smart. I've got to say Europeans often choose the smart car, not the emotional purchase. This in Europe could be a real winner. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. When I started this channel, I made a lot of videos about Chinese electric cars and people actually were really interested in them. So here's another one. The BAW Jiabao electric mini car has launched for $6,900 and at that price, it is truly a very compelling bargain. Would I buy one if I could get one for that price? You betcha I would. $7,000 for a car this size, that's this good. I mean, that's what I paid for my electric bike. This is a lot more complicated, a lot more advanced, and well, a lot more practical than my electric bike. The BAW Jiabao has 3 models in the range. Starts at $6,900 for the cheapest model. The most expensive model is an incredibly eye-watering $8,400. Still cheaper than a lot of bicycles, even bicycles without electric batteries or motors. Now the car has 4 seats and it comes in 2 options with different size battery packs. The smaller battery pack, 122 kilometers of range. The bigger pack, 172 kilometers of range. This would just be the perfect second car. You don't need a massive car as your second car, right? A lot of households, millions of households have a second car. Why not get a small, easy to drive, really easy to park, easy to get around in? This would just make so much sense in cities. Where do most people live? In a city. BAW is called Beijing Auto Works. And this is not the BAW you may have heard of in the past. They split from Beijing Auto Industry Corporation called BAIC to become a standalone electric car brand. It's a completely different company. There's no connection to the old one. In June of 2022, Car News China says that BAW launched a similar product to the Jiabao called the Yuanbao, specifically targeting the female consumer group. They really do that in China. They have color schemes, they have models, they have kind of branding and cute pandas and pink stuff, and obviously it appeals to Chinese consumers, and that's what they do. Yuanbao came in 4 versions with 4 different ranges. It started at 120 kilometers of range for the cheapest model, and it finished at 170 kilometers of range for the model that costs $7,400. Now the smaller range model only costs $5,000. And it's cars like this that are taking sales away from what used to be the best-selling car in the world, the Wuling Mini made by General Motors. It's really losing market share because of cars like this, which actually are better value. Why? They're significantly bigger for the same price. So this car here will certainly compete with the Wuling Mini EV. And when it comes to asking the question, if you saw this and you saw the Wuling Mini EV, I think most people would say, for the same price, I'll take one of these. Let me know your thoughts. Which one would you go with? So how big is it? Well, it's quite a bit bigger than the Wuling Mini EV. It's half a meter longer, 3,532 millimeters long, 1.5 meters wide, 1,500 millimeters, and 1,605 millimeters tall. Wheelbase is surprisingly long at 2,275 millimeters. Those little wheels, they are 13 inches in size. The taillights are LED. The headlights are LED. Can you believe that some legacy automakers are still selling cars without LED headlights? It's true, they are. It's bizarre. I'm talking even expensive cars. Hard to understand. Anyhow, what about power? Well, it's got a 25 kilowatt, which is around 40 horsepower motor and 100 newton meters of torque. The small battery is 11 kilowatt hours in size. The big battery pack is 15 kilowatt hours, and it's a lithium iron phosphate battery pack, so an LFP pack. Fast charging doesn't have it. But do you need it with this kind of car? Second car? I don't think so. 7 hours for charging that battery using, say, your home charger. You don't need a home charger. What I mean is just plugging it into a power point at home. So, interior. That interior, in my opinion, looks better than probably 50% of the cars that I look at on this channel, EVs, whatever they are. Very, very simple, stylish. Whoever designed this interior, they did a fantastic job for a budget car. how they can get a budget car to look this good on the inside for this kind of price, $5,000 US, and that's what it looks like on the inside. I mean, I don't understand it. How they did such a great job. It's fantastic to see a designer to do so much with so little. So clearly that interior, it's very minimalistic, but it looks like it has everything you need. It's got a 10.25 inch instrument panel for the driver and a 10.25 inch center screen. They're kind of connected together to make it sort of look seamless. I like it. The low-end vehicle model comes with a smaller screen, a 7-inch for the driver and a 7-inch central control screen. What else does it have? Not a lot, but it does have things like automatic braking, tire pressure monitoring display, a remote control key, fabric seats, voice interaction, don't know how well that would work, 2-speaker audio system. That's probably the biggest budget thing about this car. But hey, if this one is too expensive for some people, you can get the smaller version of this. It's $4,300, meaning it's 20% cheaper than the 2022 version. It's not just big electric cars that are getting cheaper, it's smaller ones as well. Now what are we looking at here? Well, this is the new Yuanbao electric city car. This was originally called the BAW S3. It starts at a staggering $4,300 US, meaning it's 20% cheaper than the old version, and it's actually better than the old version as well. It's also, like I said, around 20% smaller than the bigger Jiabao. The Yuanbao is 3.1 meters long, 3,162 millimeters, 1,498 millimeters wide, about the same width, 1.5 meters wide, and 1,585 millimeters tall, but the wheelbase is shorter at 2 meters or 2,050 millimeters. You can get it in 4 colors: pink, green, black, and white. Now it could be an even better perfect second car when you spend less. Do you really need the bigger Jiabao when you get the smaller Yuanbao? Well, maybe not. It has ABS anti-lock braking, airbags, EBD brake force distribution, and McPherson strut suspension. As you can see, the interior doesn't look quite as good as the other EV, but it's still pretty good for this price, I think. It has a different motor though, slightly less power, around 20 kilowatts, around 30 horsepower. Torque though is 85 newton meters, and it comes with an LFP battery that is 9.6 kilowatt hours big, giving it a range of 120 kilometers. Both of these cars are really awesome cars because really they're giving people the ability to get around without buying a big car that just clogs up and takes up space, gives off heaps of pollution. I mean, look at the size of these battery packs. Get an average standard normal EV built in the West, right? The battery pack would be around 4 times bigger. Do you really need that much car? Do you need that much battery? The average person probably doesn't, especially when it comes to a second car. Now, hopefully these kinds of EVs take off in many countries around the world. Now, I think they will outside of China. Obviously, in China, they're massive. I think it's just a matter of time before countries in Southeast Asia, India, Japan. I mean, obviously in Japan, they already love these small cars, but give them some of these much more affordable Chinese variants versus the very small numbers of EV versions that they have right now in Japan. And they could be a massive sales success. What do you think? Do you like it? Would you actually consider buying one? Personally, like I've said, I absolutely would. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.